I'd appreciate you letting me know how the voices and sound effects are coming across to you guys as volume levels, and without trolling in a galaxy. A crowd of monsters. Never heard of those guys. Hello, Fatty. So I'm starting to think that the volume levels in the options didn't affect the menu music at all, because now the music is really quiet now we're in game, but it was really loud on the volume on the title screen no matter how low we put it in the options. Yeah, we gotta wait for him to talk. There we go. What the hell? Yeah, I'll pump the music up a notch when we get control. But the level that it is now, the music was still loud on the title screen. Voice actor Omak. I don't think it's horror, it's a detective game, Fatty. So basically these look like, they're showing us some like children. It's like kidnapped children, and I think what the story is basically we're supposed to find out what's happening to these kids. It's kind of weird, the colour, the black and white and the red is very odd looking. It reminds me a lot of Betrayal, if you guys have played that, which is...
It's your turn.
If you guys remember that. Oh, we control the kid? It looks really weird, doesn't it? I mean, the colour, because Betrayal was like that as well. It was like an FPS, and it was all black and white, and all of the baddies were all red. Yeah, look at that ruby slippers. Yes. So I'm guessing. Oh, okay. Let's have a look around. Now let me just.
Go on, take it.
What is he trying to give us? I'm being a bit of a meanie by not taking it. He's stretching. Noir, yes. Yes. Definitely crazed. Definitely is. But you basically you play Eliot Ness.
Get me out of here.
The former
Please.
Untouchable. And you're supposed to be investigating the disappearance of these kids. What are we looking at down there? We're just looking at a bucket. So there's like 13 written on the wall. If you click your heels to give her free time.
If we don't escape, I'll be punished. I've been bad.
You can put wows on. Right? So calm, silence, or confidence.
Don't worry, I can do this. What if you can't? I'll be punished. Just like Juliet. You see? One down. That just leaves yours and the one on the door. I'll be punished. I've been bad. I'll be punished. It's okay. Be quiet. Just look out, okay?
Uh-huh, okay. Just look out. It was Gary Glitter.
He heard you. Quick, get me out of here. Be quiet.
There's no I can't figure out if you can run at all. I guess you're gonna have to do. We're running out of time.
What are you doing? Help me, please. There isn't time to open both locks. Yes, quick.
Fuck it, let's open the kid's cage.
Quick, quick, quick.
Although, if we open it, I don't know what's going to happen because we can't get out. We can pretend to be playing mummies and daddies.
Help me, please.
We're going to hide it. Okay. That's it, huh? What's he got on his head? Are we getting... I thought it was Bambi's dad.
She's there.
You little rat.
She's been really bad, hasn't she?
I don't like where this is going. What? And we tried to get him out as well. I think that was probably, that was just an intro, wasn't it? It was just showing us what was happening to these kids, I guess. I suppose that's what's supposed to happen. And now we'll probably play Eliot. Hey, Zevos. No, it's not the same thing. I think it's supposed to be. It's like 20 years after that that event, and you're actually working in a diner.
Eliot?
Just a second.
He doesn't look like much like Kevin
I
Costner.
thought you were on the day shift. Pie?
Well, I just slipped out for a second. This arrived for you at the station.
Thanks. I'll put it in the back room, then I'll get you a slice of pie. Deal?
I'm kind of in a hurry. What kind?
Blueberry.
It's a deal.
Put the check on your desk. Oh yeah. Department of the Interior. Hey, Metallica. Now, Eliot Ness is not in Fallout 4.
It's not much, but I earned it.
Is this like a pension or something from the coppers for for being so amazing?
It's seen better days. Like a lot of us.
Hey, Ness! Where's my burger?
Where's my burger? Capone can't touch us. Untouchables hit by the mafia. Superintendent Ness retires. So basically, we retired from the force. We're now running a diner.
Ness! My burger, goddammit! God damn it, Ness! You gotta be the slowest waiter in Santa Esperanza.
I guess so. The girls at Happy Dolls say you're more of the speedy type. I won't keep you waiting again.
Anyway, They catch the deadbeat robbing the pharmacy, but there's no proof, so they hand him over to me.
Elliot, seriously, I don't have much time.
Uh-oh. Serve the pie. Oh my god. Let's serve some pie. Blueberry pie to Alice. She brought us monies.
Take your time. If Jenkins says anything, tell him it's my fault. And let him know that I'll continue to keep his agents waiting until he settles his tab.
I don't think I dare. But this is worth getting in trouble for.
To think, I didn't find my true calling until I was in my 50s.
So we gotta make a burger. Okay. This is gonna be like cooking mama. We gotta make a burger.
And this time, go easy on the chili sauce. Gives me indigestion.
Gives me indigestion. Fuck it, let's put more in. Only one's enough. I don't want to overdo it. We don't want to be too much of a dick.
Okay, I tell him, if you confess right now, I finish work on time and everybody's happy. If you don't, I have to work late. I get mad, and I have to rearrange your face.
You really said that?
There you go.
And listen to this, Ness. And then I say to him, the doctor will have to work late too, and it'll be your fault. He'll be mad. And when he's done fixing your mug, it'll be so ugly, you'll never get laid again.
He sang, right?
Yeah.
He needs
like
a bit,
soprano. And you know what I did next, Ness?
You told everyone what a hero you are, and you haven't stopped telling them to this day.
Yeah, but before he left the cell, I rearranged his face. Ah, hot damn! This burger is worth coming here for.
See? It's
Glad to
worked
hear
away,
it,
right?
Dickinson.
Oh,
Wish I
someone
could say
waiting
the
for
same
us.
of all my customers.
Screw you, Ness.
I've never played Eve, no, Walshy. I've never played Eve, no. And I'm likely never to play Eve. And Joe's Diner. Dana. No. That was just...
Your first time here, right? I like this job, you know? Not because I like serving coffee or food. This job is about understanding people, knowing what they want, what they need. You just have to keep your eyes open. The clothes, the haircut, a little movement, a hand clutching a knife. Don't even think about it. Not because of me. At most, I'd knock out a couple of your teeth before disarming you. The guys you should be worried about are the cops at the other table. They'd keep kicking you in the ribs long after you passed out. You'd be lucky to wake up in a hospital. The question is, what do I do with you now?
We're nice.
Buy yourself a suit, son. Get a shave, get a job, and make a man of yourself. And
we
if
can
you
do
come
some
back
money.
here looking for trouble, you'll find it.
That's a big bit of
You
pie.
want coffee? You still dating the same kid, the blues guitar fella?
Hey, I'm a big girl. I don't need the fatherly concern. Or would you prefer me to date a cop?
You know I love the blues, don't you? Your dad would be proud of you.
Thanks. But not Jenkins.
Easy there, miss. Slow and steady wins the race.
Slow and steady was the race.
If I don't get some blackberry pie this minute, I'm gonna die before this day is out. Can you help me, sir?
I'm afraid not.
It's too bad. I need something sweet for my last day on Earth.
Blueberry pie? Last slice.
You use almond extract?
Quarter of a teaspoon.
Which brand?
I make my own. Do I know you from someplace?
Me? No. But you do know my boss.
It's a big piece of pie. Uh-huh. You know, when you see these items put on the desk and they're not black and white, you know, they obviously have some significance. Ah, okay, so 20 years ago.
Garrison, O'Reilly.
Were you
Pietro,
pissed?
Dockers.
Go see Capone, okay.
Garrison, O'Reilly, Pietro, Dockers. Garrison, O'Reilly, Pietro, Dockers.
Let's go beat the shit out of Capone. I mean, it's very linear where you're going. I mean, you're.
Garrison,
I can't go anywhere
O'Reilly,
but forward.
Pietro, Dockers.
I'm guessing I'm going across here, right?
You, call your boss. I have business to settle with him.
Can't even enjoy a quiet smoke. Look, I get it. It's Christmas. You're lonely and you want to end it all. But Santa Esperanza is full of bridges. Why not throw yourself off one of them and leave me in peace?
Tell Capone that Eliot Ness is here. We're going to finish this thing once and for all.
Jeez, I don't get paid enough. Listen, you got it backwards. I'm not here to make my boss come out. I'm here to stop you getting in.
I'll do you a deal. Do what I say, and when I've finished with your boss, I'll bury your police file in his grave.
Oh yeah? Why not bury it in the same grave as your buddy Dockers?
You shouldn't have brought that up.
Oh.
Oh no? You gonna cry
Nope.
now?
I don't remember the
Hey,
name order.
come on.
Hopefully it's not
It's
important,
Christmas.
B101. I hope it's not important.
At the front gate! It's Ness!
Put down your weapons. You'll get a fair trial.
Oh, come on. What? You're kidding, right? You're...
Keep moving forward! I think I hit him!
He thinks he hit him. Oh, look. Boom. Oh, yeah.
We need more men!
Good old quick time. Oh, that's better. We got a bigger
Going
gun.
dead!
That's it. Hide behind a hedge. It's the best place to hide, man. Behind a hedge. He doesn't reload. I like this. Come on, Capone. So is that how Ness really took out Capone? Go see Capone. Do you think that's him playing the piano? I guess it is.
Have any last words?
You come into my house?
Your doorman was kind enough to let me in.
You kill my men.
I didn't know human beings mattered to you.
Would you kill an unarmed man? You? Eliot Ness?
That Eliot Ness is dead. You killed him yourself.
Papa!
Vittorio! Are you gonna kill me in front of my son? That stain right there is all that's left of D'Annunzio, one of my best men. I told him to take care of the butcher on East Main, one of the jerks who've been screwing with me for months. We had to make an example of him. Send a message to the other storekeepers. D'Annunzio ripped out his guts and hung him up with the merchandise, but he did it while the butcher's daughter was watching. Fucking D'Annunzio. There are lines that cannot be crossed. We have to protect the innocence of children. Keep them far, far away from certain experiences.
Your son should know what kind of monster his father is. I can't think of a better life lesson.
Look, Vittorio. His hand's shaking. Booze turns men into cowards. You'll be like your father. Never drink. It's funny, huh? The White Knight of the Volstead Act gets liquored up to kill the king of bootleg booze.
Relax, son. Nobody's going to kill anybody. I'd love to introduce you to a girl your age, Vittorio. Her name is Claire Dockers, and she sings like an angel. You two would get along. 2 days ago, Claire's father caught up with yours in a warehouse. Your father was hitting innocent people, and that's not right. He told him to stop, but your father ignored him and pulled out a gun to shoot him. Claire's father was quicker. He drew his gun first and fired, but the bullet jammed. Your father killed Claire's father, in cold blood. He kicked him in the face so many times not even Claire herself would have recognized him.
You'll never prove I killed Dockers.
I know, and that's why I'm here. But now I know I'm better than you. Your father is a murderer, and Claire hasn't stopped crying these last 2 days, all because of him. Never forget that, Vittorio.
Okay. So that's the bullet that guy gave us.
Hold it! Let him go. Run, Ness, and forget I exist, or I'll have to report what you just did. And I do have witnesses. You hear me, Ness?
So if someone came in and gave us that bullet, then obviously it's one of Capone's men. I'm gonna be a friend of the kids.
That's some first-class pie.
Who is this dude?
Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. My car is parked outside. If you could join me as soon as possible, I'll be doubly grateful.
Gentlemen, I'm closing up. Time to move along.
So early? What are you talking about, Ness?
Are you serious?
I'm sorry, guys. I have to close up. Today's meal is on the house.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's too, or I'm not coming back. You got that?
Whatever you say, Dickinson.
He's got a medal. He's important. So the two couples got up to leave. The other guys didn't get up to leave. The other person. Hey.
And that's how a bullet turns into a boomerang.
What? That is how a bullet turns into a boomerang. Look at that. Look at that. That looks like a big piece of chocolate cake or something. Kills his family and flees. This morning, Osmond Burke, condemned rapist of Vermont and son of rich tycoon Jebediah Burke, killed his family. What? Come on. Killed his family in what is supposed to be a rage attack. Okay. And then he fled. I guess he's too old to like run or walk quick. Ah! Crespo. A bottle of Crespo Cola. Suck it, Ness. Have a smiley face. Well, seeing that little smiley face, do you guys see that they're making a movie based on emojis? What? They got a director pin to this, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you... How is that going to work? How can you make a movie based on emojis? Yes, he's obviously collecting the pictures of all the missing kids. So he's probably trying... I think your job is you to figure out what's happened to these kids. Well, that's what it seems like. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. And who this guy is.
At last, Mr. Ness. Please get in.
I could swear I've seen your face before.
Sure. I'm the guy you served a slice of blueberry pie to 5 minutes ago. Thanks for remembering me. Please get in. I can't afford for you to catch a cold.
Who is this dude? Never follow a stranger. But it's okay to get in the car with him. It is okay to get in the car, just do not follow. Where are we going? Venice? Venice! What is this place?
We'll be going up in a couple of minutes. I'll wait for you in the cable car.
Up where?
What? I'm still kind of confused. What are we doing? What is going on? A masquerade ball? But what is going on? Who was that dude? Oh, he's got a nice mask. Look at that. Look at that long one. He can tickle some fancies with that. Oh, hello, ladies. Look at those tats.
The Hindenburg. Her forced landing in New Jersey almost cost the lives of over 100 passengers.
The Hindenburg.
Yeah, nearly a fireball in midair. It would have burned down half the city.
Ladies? Some of these masks are a bit weird. Yeah. Some of these masks are really, really weird. Extremely weird. Look, he needs the help. Should we go help him? Oh, maybe not. Look, I was gonna try to help you, man. Who's this? Who's this?
A. Ryan, owner of Ryan Hotels. The visionary
Ryan
who
Hotels.
transformed the Hindenburg into the monument to aeronautical luxury it is today.
Are you guys really quiet, or did chat break? I don't mind if you're quiet, but I'm not sure if chat breaks when I don't even see the bot saying anything. When it should be speaking every 20 minutes. They should say so every 20 minutes, and it hasn't said anything for like 30. I'm kind of wondering if Twitch chat's being screwy or...
Okay, let's go.
Hello, suckers. So how are we going? I'm still kind of a little bit confused at what the frick is going on. A gay pride!
Scared of heights?
Premium coffee.
Since I was a kid, I like to keep my feet on the ground.
That makes two of us. If you need a paper bag, I have one.
A paper bag? This is your troll
How
account.
high does this thing go?
Welcome, troll.
Higher than the clouds.
What? So was that the Hindenburg or a replica? What is... like a big like hotel or something on the Hindenburg. So, we're on the Hindenburg, maybe for a vacation? No, we cannot for a vacation. Hello, Burn Scripter.
I'm afraid I can't come with you. Thanks for the pie.
But
Welcome to the Grand Hindenburg Hotel. My name is Susan, and I'm glad to be of service. Your name, please?
Okay. Let's be
Ness.
truthful.
Eliot Ness.
Thank you, Mr. Ness. Nice choice. Sounds genuine. And now, how can I help you?
I'm here to see Mr. Capone.
There's no Mr. Capone here, Mr. Ness.
Listen, Susan. I know more than 60 aliases for Al Capone, so you have two options. One is to delay my appointment with him until I guess the right one, which he is not going to like. The other is to send me through and earn my eternal gratitude and his. Your call.
He's in the presidential suite. Top floor at the end of the red carpet.
Thank you, Susan.
Have a pleasant
What?
stay at the Grand Hindenburg Hotel, Mr. Ness.
Hang on, so we are Eliot Ness, and we're gonna...
Your attention, please.
We're
cable
gonna see
car to
Mr.
Santa
Capone.
Esperanza leaves in 3 minutes.
What kind of person can afford this kind of luxury? Shit. You think it's going to be a quiet day and suddenly the storm hits you.
I don't think I'd want to live in a hotel that's like the Hindenburg, right? I don't think that's a good idea. I definitely don't think that's a good idea. Happy days.
You can't go in there, sir. They're in rehearsal.
Theater?
Shakespeare's Titus Andronicus. They open in a couple of nights. Perhaps Mr. Capone can get you a ticket?
Capone? He's at this hotel? Gosh, I'd heard the opposite.
Didn't she just tell us that we was there and told us where to go? So where are we going if we can't go that way? We gotta go up the stairs, I guess? I don't know where we're going. We can't go that way, okay. Strictly no smoking. So I kind of, because as far as I understood it, we're basically Eliot Ness, and we're asked to figure out what's happening with these missing kids. And what I'm wondering now is maybe is Al Capone the one that's going to ask us to do it? Maybe his son got kidnapped, or he's, I don't know, his grandson or something. Maybe he's the one that's going to be asking us to go and investigate.
Higher than the clouds.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't think I'd really want to be up here either. Yeah, I wonder if that's what it is. It's actually Capone is the one that's going to be asking us to investigate the kids, and it's going to be kind of
Your
weird,
attention,
right?
please. The cable car to Santa Esperanza leaves in 2 minutes.
So Mr. Capone is going to ask Mr. Eliot Ness for help. I don't know how well that will go. You go that way? No, can't go that way. Cookies! Wrong place. Wrong channel. Hell and death out.
A. Ryan, owner of Ryan Hotels.
We got
the
Bucks
visionary
over
who
here.
transformed the Hindenburg into the monument to aeronautical luxury it is today.
So if this is like a floating hotel, then it's going to have a lot of it's going to be a lot of work on it, right? To keep it floating. I mean, fuel-wise and stuff. It's not going to just stay up there
The
forever.
window cleaners up here deserve every cent they make. I wouldn't do it for all the money in the world.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to wash those windows. Fuck that. Hey, we can walk now faster. Thank God. Nice view though. Did you see that? She was cross-eyed. Did you see that? She was cross-eyed.
I don't remember the last time I did that.
She was totally cross-eyed. Hang on, can we see her again? Did you? Oh my God. She was cross-eyed. The cross-eyed lady. Hey, Flesker. See, that Crespo's machine doesn't work either. The one in our little diner doesn't work, and that one doesn't work either. I think Crespo's is a rip-off merchants. And so, one day, my magnificent flight wonder will purify this pagan city with the eternal fire. Eternal fire? Capone seems to have a lady friend. Uh-huh. What? Bang on the door. Oh, we gotta get in the elevator, right? Ah, okay. We gotta get in the elevator. To get to the presidential suite. Ding. What? Hang on, we're still inside the Hindenburg? This is kind of big, right? Hey, man.
What happened here?
Nothing to worry about, my good man. What happens on the Hindenburg stays on the Hindenburg.
I'd guess
How can you work in a place like this?
You don't want to know where I worked before this, my good man.
You never had problems with the police?
Oh, many a one, my good man. In fact, what I'm cleaning up is today's first problem.
Are you saying the law doesn't apply here?
We're too high up, my good man.
My good
the law
man.
has always preferred to look down.
Uh-huh. So Capone's obviously still up to his tricks. Japanese garden. Oh, hello. There's a lady getting knives thrown at her. The amazing Charla, king of knives. Should go check him out. Come on. Here it is. Oh, it's a cross-eyed lady again. It's probably just a reflection on her glasses, but she definitely looks cross-eyed.
Bravo!
Ha. Lol. Whoopsie.
I'm sorry.
Did she die? Did she die? I don't know. I'm trying to look. Can we look? No, we can't go over there. Damn it. So we just gave the other guy something else to clean up, right? What is this? Emergency exit.
If it wasn't for my habit of checking all possible exits when I walk into the lion's den, I'd be a dead man.
Uh-huh. Yes. That's
If
right.
it wasn't for my habit of
Damn it.
checking all possible exits when I walk into the lion's den, I'd be a dead man.
So, we've seen the exit. So I wonder how... This is basically 20 years on from when we saw Capone before, and he looked like an old fart then. Oh, he's an even wrinklier old
You
fart.
should be rotting in jail.
That's exactly what I've been doing for the last 19 and a half years. You'll be surprised what a little good behavior can do for a person. You're not gonna ask me for my last words this time? I'm a lot closer to death than when I last saw you. As are you.
Why did you ask me here?
Why did you come?
I wanted to see if you'd improved with age. I'm glad to see the answer's no.
When you said rot in jail, you really meant it, huh? Look, I didn't ask you here to find out who's got the snappiest comebacks. I want to hire you.
Figured.
What?
I require your services as a detective.
I don't know what your game is, but if your plan was to surprise me, you've succeeded.
Look, Ness. My granddaughter Sophia has been kidnapped. When what happened to my son, Vittorio, I put her in a boarding school. She was entered under a false surname, Colombo. Nobody knows who she is.
Nobody?
Only Milton, the man who brought you here. I trust him completely. 2 days ago, a guy turned up at the boarding school. He introduced himself as Guido Colombo, the girl's uncle, and her new legal guardian. He said her parents had just died in a tragic automobile accident. He produced all the relevant papers, driver's license, the custody document supposedly made out by the father, the death certificates. He explained away the fact that the girl didn't know him by saying he moved to Seattle before she was born.
Any clues?
Pics.
Well, Sophia was wearing a blue dress with flowers that I personally ordered for her from Italy. She was also wearing white ballet shoes with daisies embroidered on them. As for the guy, the school principal said he was tall and slim, in his 50s. No particular accent. Black hair, no beard, no glasses. Well dressed. Could be anyone. But I know he was hired by one of my old associates. Someone wants to finish me once and for all. Maybe they want control of what's left of my organization. Maybe they hate my guts.
And I thought I was the only one who still hated you after 20 years. What else have you got?
I got this. And I got you.
You don't have me. My place is at my diner.
Oh.
And your girl's not there.
Huh. So where should I be looking?
I'm not a cop anymore. Call the station.
The station? Are you serious? The cops are rotten to the core. I should know. I helped make them that way.
So why me?
20 years ago, I pushed you to the edge. I bought your friends and killed the ones who couldn't be bought. I got you so obsessed with me that your wife ended up leaving you. When you had nothing left, you walked into my house, shot my bodyguards, and pointed a gun at me. You could have killed me. But you chose to take it out on this piano. You're the only honest man I know.
I'll do it. Not for you. For her.
I knew I got the right guy.
But I want something in return.
As you can see, I'm not short of money. Ask. I won't haggle.
Donation, jail, or exile. So I guess we can, was that, get him to go back to jail, or get him to leave, or take some money. Let's go for exile.
You leave Santa Esperanza and the country forever.
It's a deal. I always wanted to die in Sicily, but that's the least of my worries. I don't
we'll
give
get him
a
out of here.
damn what happens to me, Ness. You just saved Sophia. And you can start by investigating
Carlo Boccarini.
How did you know?
Biggest forger in Santa Esperanza. Wouldn't surprise me if Sophia's so-called uncle's papers were made by him. Besides, he's been cursing your name ever since we put you in jail.
Hey, I treated him like a son.
After you killed his parents.
They were selling booze without my permission. Wait, you know where to find him?
I have a good contact at the station. A girl. Rookie. Straight arrow. Reliable.
A girl? You saying you trust her?
You are such a chauvinist. Do you trust me?
Deal?
Sure.
That's a spirit. Keep Milton informed at all times, huh? You hear me?
I know you from somewhere.
I wonder where he does know him from. And in a galaxy, yeah, I think that, if I remember right, I think Knight Rider set that command up that only people that were VIP or mods could run it, I think.
I'm never going to help you. Why me?
I'm not asking you to help me.
I'm not sure if it was Pix or whether it was Pick. I don't know what it was. I didn't make the command.
Not for you. For her.
I didn't make the command. It is all Knight Rider's doing.
This town has become a jungle. Where not even the rats are safe. Those who swore to protect us fight to steal the last scraps of dignity we have left. And those who should judge them prefer to squabble over their prey.
This is weird as shit.
It's like this. The Santa Esperanza I was born in was a clean town. A place where it meant something to be a cop.
What?
Until he arrived.
This is some weird old shit. Ah, that's the one.
He took everything I had, but in the end I sent him to hell.
You know, I mean, it reminds me a little bit of the original Max Payne. Especially the scene like this. It reminds me a bit of the original Max Payne.
Got my feet back on the ground. But now he's back, and he's dragged me in.
He dragged me in.
I'm gonna need help.
Juice or whiskey? Let's stay off the sauce. We'll just stick with some OJ. You made a decision.
Ness.
Eliot, I found Carlo Boccarini.
I knew you would, Alice.
Write this down. 31 Wicker Avenue in Lakeview.
Thanks. Nice work.
Eliot, what do you want with him? He's got a hell of a file.
Right now, it's better you don't know, Alice.
What, are you protecting me?
I promised your father that I would.
I'm a cop, not a little girl.
Alice, I don't have much time. I'll let you know how it goes. Thanks. Tomorrow's going to be a long, long day.
About pics. I suppose that's probably easier to remember. I don't remember what it was. But again, I never used it. So
31 Wicker Avenue. This is it.
You sure?
I'm sure.
At last. That stench of stale grease about you reminds me too much of my old job.
You worked as a waiter?
I was a chef. And not in any old kitchen. At the maximum security penitentiary on Gore Island. Can't think of a better way to do time. And how do you think I met Alphonse? Playing golf?
Alphonse?
On the subject of cooking, I know your blueberry pie had an extra something. I still don't know what.
Alphonse?
So what now? You got a plan?
Take a look around, in case there's a rear exit. I'll take the main door.
My pleasure.
Approach the house. No, it wasn't done by Telltale. But I'm saying it's a similar sort of style because it's. I mean, it's episodic in that way, but it's not.
The fact that a criminal
nothing to
like
do with
him
them.
can hang up his shingle in broad daylight says a lot about Santa Esperanza.
The only similarity it has with Telltale is that it's episodic.
Someone took out sections of the fence. Odd.
There's a gnome. Look at that gnome.
Interesting taste. Been centuries since a gardener visited this house. Maybe Boccarini's business isn't going too well.
I wonder what his business actually is now, though. This place looks like a bit of a dive, doesn't it? It doesn't. It looks just a little bit run down, and if he's supposed to be, yeah. Let's ring the bell. Or try and ring the bell.
The bell doesn't work. I guess Boccarini doesn't get many visitors. Boccarini? Carlo Boccarini?
Nothing of interest out back. Sorry. You better come see this, Mr. Ness.
What is it?
I don't know how to describe it.
What? Show us. Something's going on in there. Show us. Oh.
Is that our man?
Boccarini.
My God.
Oh.
We have to find out who did this and why. Let's go.
You're the detective, Mr. Ness. Besides, Alphonse will want to see this. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay.
I have to establish how Boccarini died. Maybe the body parts can shed some light on the motive.
Solve the murders investigation board. What?
Maybe the body parts can shed some light on the motive. Holy Christ, what the hell are we up against?
I would imagine so, yes. I would guess he did get the point.
His eyes were pulled clean out of their sockets. Whoever did this, it wasn't their first time. And if they committed any other murders like this, it's likely that the police found some of the bodies. I must remember to ask Alice. His teeth were all pulled out before he was killed. The buildup of blood inside his mouth speaks for itself.
So you have your teeth pulled out while you're alive? I mean...
Pity he won't last till Christmas, because he'd almost pass for a tree. There's no doubt the murderer took his time.
Oh...
This isn't a cut, it's a tear. His hands were ripped off. Who has that kind of strength?
Oh my god. Come on. Where's the last one? Where's the last clue, man? You can't go down. You can't go right anymore, so... Oh, there we go. We can go behind him. We can go behind him. Look at his buttocks. Oh, look. Look at that. Look at that bottom.
What's he got stuck in there? Looks like the bottom of a glass. It's Boccherini, no doubt about that. Although the one I remember was more together.
Uh-huh, so... So, what the fuck are we doing here? I don't actually get it. So we got 3 pictures. We got the glass.
Boccherini's teeth were all pulled out.
Okay, so he's... We can use 2 clues out of 3. So his teeth being pulled out.
Tore Boccherini's hands off.
His hands being torn off. And...
What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccherini's back.
So basically, so his hands got torn off, and we can use one more of these clues. Basically, either his teeth being pulled out, or someone embedding a glass in his ass.
Boccherini's teeth were all pulled out. Maybe the body parts can shed some light on the motive.
I mean, I'm thinking the
What looks like the bottom of a broken
glass is a little bit weird.
Boccherini's back.
Oh, it's
Boccherini's teeth were all pulled out.
It wouldn't use that one.
Ripped
It was
off,
wrong.
Teeth torn out. I guess I'll have to rule out criminal intent or a personal angle. Boccherini's eyes still haven't shown up. What if I look for whatever was used to remove them?
We gotta look for whatever was used to remove his eyes.
What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccherini.
Alright. But we gotta find out what was used to remove his eyes. Yeah.
Takes a strong man to tear that out. Or several.
Hang on, tear what out?
The lamp. Torn off its brackets and blocking the stairs.
Blocking the stairs.
Jammed shut from the inside. Maybe between the 2 of us when Milton gets back.
What?
Blood and some kind of sticky liquid.
Blood and sticky liquid. So the spoon is probably what was used to pull his eyes out, I reckon, right? They spooned his eyes out. That seems logical.
Oh shit.
Oh, there's his
I should have
hands.
stayed in my diner.
There's his hands. What? What do you think he's gonna... Do you think he's holding his eyes? What do you reckon? Do you think he's got his eyeballs inside his hand?
Are these teeth from the body?
Oh, his teeth.
Well, at least I know why his teeth were pulled out, more or less.
What? No, it doesn't help at all. That doesn't give you any explanation of that.
What is that? Looks like a ritual. What was Boccherini mixed up in?
Okay, so we can't look at the other side of the room. We might as well finish looking around.
This car looks too classy for a forger like Boccherini.
Nice set of wheels.
Are there sufficient reasons to believe that when the murderer attacked Boccherini, there was someone else in the house? The first possibility to be ruled out is that the car belonged to Boccherini.
Okay.
Vermont plates. Someone drove a long way.
Oh, you can't walk up there. Okay.
Let's take a look in the glove compartment. Bingo.
Ooh, what do we
A
got?
man's cigarette case. OB. One of the Boccherini clan?
Okay, so let's head back the other way and we'll see. Hang on. Was that a Untouchables poster? Oh no, is it? Does that say Batmobile? It does say Batmobile. That does say Batmobile. What? Okay. Let's see if we can look in the room at the other side. We've still got that door we can try to open with Milton.
The blood comes from the other side of the corridor and ends next to the body. He was attacked in the other room and dragged to the hall. The evidence suggests that the events began in the lounge. How did Boccherini encounter his murderer?
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like seven clues we got to find to put in these places. So did you guys notice yet the voice actor that plays Ness? Do you recognize his voice?
Whatever crushed the table must have been really heavy. Or maybe it was thrown extremely hard. A perfectly circular dint, as if someone had tried to hammer in a gigantic bolt, around 4 inches in diameter.
That is kind of big.
Fingernails scratched the wood. Blood ran like water.
I can't remember that guy's name, but I'm sure I can tell you something else he's acted recently. I don't remember his name though. I'm sure it's it's the guy that voiced Geralt in Witcher 3. I'm sure it is.
What kind of person takes off a wristwatch without unfastening it? Or fastens the strap again after taking it off?
I'm sure it is.
Blood.
It might not be, but I think it
Blood
is.
everywhere.
It definitely sounds like him. I'll have to check.
Did it break during the struggle, or was it already broken?
A relax watch. Is that like a fake Rolex? It could be, right? A fake Rolex called Relax.
This was opened recently.
Booze. Hey, John.
Smells of whiskey.
Yep, the bottle was just next to it. I suppose a little bit. It's a little bit like Yeah, definitely. No, you say that.
Glass on the floor indicates the window was broken from outside.
Alright.
There's something under there.
It's a gun.
How'd it wind up under there?
I don't know. You tell us.
Not one round fired. It must have happened fast.
Oh. What?
What is it with Italians and olives? They lap those things up like caviar.
Olives.
Like a true bachelor, he should have put these into soak. Hours of scraping to get them clean. Although at this stage, I don't think Boccarini's too worried about that. 4 glasses. 2 of water, 2 of wine. I've always been a whiskey man, but I know a good wine when I see one. Leftover lasagna. It looks good. Why is it that 2 out of 3 Italian gangsters are great cooks? I'll never understand what the deal is with them in cooking. The plates and the glasses leave no room for doubt. Boccarini had company for dinner.
And company finished him off. Knives are all there. Oh, one's missing.
One knife's missing. The biggest one. Shut from the inside. It opens onto the same room as the jammed door in the corridor.
Okay, so let's try to piece some of this together. So the eyes, we know what the eyes are. The eyes are oh, where? We know what the eyes are. The eyes are the spoon. We got the spoon to. He used a spoon to dig out his eyes.
A teaspoon stained with blood and some kind of sticky liquid. The mixture of sticky liquid and blood can only mean one thing. The spoon was used to remove Boccarini's eyes. The mutilations and the disappearance of his eyes suggest 2 possible motives. Psychopathy or cultist fanaticism. Which is it?
So we did see some stuff about the to make it seem like
some kind of symbol drawn in blood.
something about the occult, right?
2 pools of blood, one on either side of the dining room table. The trail of blood from the dining room to the hall. The initials OB on a cigarette case. A sick altar of human flesh. Although I don't know the origin of the symbol in the bathroom and the altar of flesh and teeth, I'd say the motive was some kind of occult religion. The big question is,
Who did it?
It
was the devil. Alright, so
a car with Vermont plates.
and we'll have
The
the
initials OB on a cigarette case.
cigarette case.
1, it has Vermont plates. 2, it's too luxurious for a criminal of his standing. 3, the initials on the cigarette case don't match his name. The next possibility that needs to be ruled out is that the car was stolen. There should be evidence that there was someone else in the house.
There was evidence of someone else in the house, yes. There was some glasses.
Dirty plates, glasses, and silverware from a dinner for 2. The dirty dishes and glasses prove that Boccarini ate lasagna with one other person. Was Boccarini's guest still in the house when the murderer showed up?
I don't know. Hey, what do we got? So
What looks like the bottom of a broken glass buried in Boccarini's back.
that's kind of freaky.
The lamp, torn off its brackets and blocking the stairs. A door in the corridor jammed shut. The trail of blood from the dining room to... The trail of blood... A broken whiskey glass found in the dining room.
Says, I'm not sure specifically what there points to a
The
witness.
lamp, torn off
No,
its brackets and
I don't
blocked.
mean that. This door.
A door in the
I wonder
corridor
if
jammed shut. It opens onto the same room.
it doesn't say. Okay, it sounds like him, though, doesn't it? It sounds very, very like him.
A broken whiskey glass found in the dining room. The trail of blood from the dining. 2 pools of blood, one on either side of the dining room. What looks like the bottom of a broken glass seems clear that Boccherini and his guest were drinking when the murderer took them by surprise. The real question is, what happened to the witness? Did they escape? Did the murderer take them? Or are they still in the house? A door in the kitchen, locked from the inside. It opens onto the same room as the door in the corridor jammed shut. One locked door could be a coincidence, but 2 locked doors which open onto the same room can't be. Either I'm completely wrong, or the witness is in that room. But I need Milton to open one of those doors.
Yeah, we need Milton. Okay, so we got one more. No. So, assault. So we...
The trail of blood from the dining room to the hall.
What? Oh, no, hang on. No. The window.
Pieces of glass from the window in the hall, found inside the house. The lamp, torn off its brackets and blood. 2 pools of blood on
That should
a
have been...
pistol, fully loaded.
I guess the
An
whiskey.
open bottle of whiskey. I'd say Boccherini was drinking in the dining room when his assailant burst in through the window. Boccherini pulled his gun, but the murderer disarmed him before he could shoot. Where did the torture begin?
Where did the torture begin?
The trail of blood from the dining room to the hall. 2
No,
pools
that one.
of blood, one
Sorry.
on either side of the dining room table. A broken table, scratched and covered in blood. A blood-stained wristwatch with a glass. The bloodstains show that the murderer began to torture Boccherini on the dining table itself. That was where his hands were torn off. As a result, his wristwatch fell to the ground. How did the body reach its current position? The trail of blood from the dining room to the hall. The lamp, torn off its brackets and blocking the Boccherini, already minus hands, was dragged into the hall, where the murderer used the brackets of the lamp to complete his macabre diorama.
Mr. Ness, can you open the door for me?
Why is he got a gun?
It was open. Why did you ring?
I thought I should use the doorbell so I wouldn't startle you.
When I came in, I pressed the doorbell and it didn't work.
Well, in light of the facts, I deduced that it was your finger that wasn't working. So, what can you tell me to restore my faith in you as a detective?
What is that?
Not a good start. It's a camera, so Alphonse can see all this.
All right. Follow me.
Yeah, as I said, it does sound like
Boccherini
him.
had company for dinner. Someone from Vermont with the initials OB. Someone whose social status was a lot higher, but who was on the same side of the law. He served lasagna, and after clearing away the dishes, they opened a bottle of whiskey in the dining room. That was when the murderer burst in on them, coming through the window which he broke with his own body weight. Boccherini, or maybe his guest, pulled a gun, but it was a waste of time. The murderer was so fast he was disarmed before he could fire. He focused his attention on Boccherini, totally ignoring the guest, and lifted him up into the air. He then threw him against the dining room table so hard that one of the glasses of whiskey was embedded in Boccherini's back. He span around, clawing at the table, and immediately afterwards the murderer ripped off his hands. I have no idea how he did it, but all the evidence suggests he just pulled. Blood sprayed everywhere, The wristwatch fell to the ground. He dragged him through the corridor into the hall. He tore down the lamp, hung him from the brackets, and stabbed steel rods through his body. He skewered him on the iron bars, possibly taken from the fence outside, and pulled out his teeth one by one. Then he pulled his teeth out one by one as he died. Finally, he scooped out his eyes with a teaspoon. Boccherini must have been dead when the murderer went to the bathroom with his hands in his teeth. There, he arranged them to make an altar, weaving the fingers together and placing the teeth inside. Next, he painted something on the wall in blood, a symbol which I don't recognize, but which could have some kind of ritualistic significance. When he'd finished his artwork, he left. I don't know what he did with the eyes.
You're telling me that someone did all this armed with a teaspoon?
More or less.
And you worked all this out on your own, just by looking?
More or less.
I don't know which of the two of you scares me more. Wait a second. What about the guest?
Right. Come with me.
And thank you, Seaford, for checking.
Nothing.
Turns out Mr. Untouchable isn't infallible. But you were close. Congratulations.
This must be Boccherini's office. Let's take a quick look around.
All yours.
He's gonna read a book. I wonder what he's reading. He's probably reading... What is he reading? Can we ask him?
You're at a crime scene, and you sit down to read?
Titus Andronicus. One of the actors on the Hindenburg lent it to me. They're performing it soon. You couldn't ask for more appropriate reading material. Murder, mutilation, torture. Shakespeare's got it all.
We've lost the only lead we had to help us find Sophia Capone.
You think Boccherini's murder could be related?
Maybe. It's hard to say. Why'd you go to jail?
For murder, but...
You didn't do it, of course.
Of course I did it, but I didn't intend to.
So actually someone admitted that they did commit the crime. Oh, look at that. Monies. All the monies.
Jesus, there's at least $1 million here.
Mm-hmm. Boccherini's?
I'd be surprised. Probably his guests, and I doubt it was to pay Boccherini for his services. None of his forgeries are worth that much. Carlo, I have the goods for OB, but I have to take the children to school tomorrow and I can't make the meetup. Friday, same time, same place. It's signed NI.
Mm-hmm. These initials are getting to be a pain in the ass, right?
I have to take the kids to school tomorrow. I don't think this is some loving divorced daddy, Milton.
I take back what I just said.
Loving divorced daddy.
The driver's license of one John Martinson and Osmond Burke. O.B.
Do we know him?
The eldest son of the richest family in Vermont, convicted rapist. He was arrested thanks to the testimony of his father, who wound up disinheriting him. He escaped from prison last week. He broke into the family home and slit the throats of all his relatives one by one, opened the safe, and got away with a fortune.
They don't make jails like they used to.
And it was that scumbag that was on the front
All
of the newspaper.
starting to add up, isn't it?
Ah! Out of my way! Out! Out! Out!
I didn't push the button because I wasn't ready for quick time.
All starting to add up, isn't it?
Ah! Out of my way! Out! Out!
Good old quick time.
Milton! Milton!
You're doing fine on your own, Mr. Ness. I believe in you.
So this is obviously the guest. Good old quick time.
Get out of my way, I said! He's coming back!
Who's coming back?
Him! The monster!
The guy who killed Boccherini?
He was a monster! Well, get your hands off me, Negro!
What was he like? Describe him for me.
He was a monster. Red and black. I mean, his head reached the ceiling. He tore off his hands with his claws! It was a monster! A monster!
A monster.
Should I hit him again?
Yeah, fuck it.
You're Osmond Burke, right?
Yes.
Good. Now pay attention, Burke, because I have a question for you.
Documents, suitcase or
Who
documents?
is John Martinson?
I am.
Boccherini created a new identity for you. And I'll bet that under those bandages there's a new face, fresh from surgery. Who wrote this note?
Nikolai Ivankov.
Rings a bell.
One of Capone's right-hand men 20 years ago. What does this stuff about kids mean?
I don't know.
Calm down, Burke. You were going to meet up with him, right?
Yes, at the docks, berth 42, right next to where the alligator 3 is moored.
So what's the meetup time?
Tomorrow at noon. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? No, it's going to be tonight.
Oh.
Don't get too comfortable. We'll be there in no time.
Please.
There are certain types of people I don't allow in my diner. But today, I have no choice but to make an exception.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Ness. I have to take him to Alphonse.
Out of the question. I know his temper. He'll beat him to a pulp.
Listen, if the missing girl was your granddaughter, you wouldn't forgive me if I didn't let you see the only suspect who could lead us to her.
Okay.
Shucks.
What?
Shucks.
I thought that bloodbath would cover up the smell of stale grease. I was wrong.
Your prerogative. Your prerogative, J. Corncob. I won't feel down if you do.
Eliot?
Ah, Delphine.
Oh, thank God you're here. The lights were off, so I thought that... I'm sorry. I got out of the hospital late. Then I went to the station to pick up Jim's check, and when they told me... I'm scared.
Of what?
What are you drinking?
It's only juice. Juice and nothing else.
Breathe on me. You heard me. I'm sorry. It hasn't been a good day.
What's happened?
We are staying
No.
sober.
You knew!
Knew about what?
What's that gun doing there?
A guy I know is having trouble with a two-bit mafioso. He asked me to go with him, just in case. I didn't have to get it out.
Well, don't. Don't start taking on the Mafia. Not now. You really don't know?
We don't drink
No,
booze.
I don't know. And if you keep up the guessing games, I'll never know.
He's back.
Who?
Him. I don't know why it still surprises me, but it's
Who?
incredible that you were such a good detective, and yet you've never been able to understand people. Capone got out of jail.
Where'd you hear that?
Chief Jenkins.
Chief Jenkins. The same guy who said he was going to clean up Santa Esperanza, right? In that case, you can rest assured Capone just put on his striped pajamas, and in 4 minutes' time, he'll be snoring in his cell.
Eliot, what if it's true? If he's out, what's the first thing he's going to do? Who does he hate more than anyone?
If it's true he got free, which I doubt, the first people he'll want to take out are the ones who put him in jail, the members of the jury. And if my memory serves, there were a lot of them. It'll take him a long time to get to me.
Please, Eliot, don't joke. You're the only part of Jim's life that I have left. If you put yourself in danger, I'm fine. Thanks.
My hand? I burnt it cooking. Fried eggs are the devil's work.
What's going on, Eliot? We're closed.
Can you wait outside for a couple of minutes, Milton?
Sure, of course. Although, I'm sorry to say, but we're short on time.
Eliot.
Do it.
Come in, Milton, come in. Delphine, I'll tell you later. Now...
We can't. We gotta keep the
You
case.
said you'd never treat me like that again. I'm glad I could confirm that you're okay.
No, and it's none of your business.
Sorry to butt in. I've brought your rapist costume for the party.
What? Bought a rapist party?
Seriously.
Is that it?
You're not...
Is that what he said?
No, she's the wife of a friend who died in the line of duty.
A rapist
Jim
party.
Dockers.
For the party. Rapist
Alphonse
costume.
told me about him.
Your Alphonse killed him.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Ness. Although he's not the same man he was. Anyway, isn't the deal with marriage until death do us part?
It's not that simple. There are other factors.
But yeah, John, it was right. I was right. It is. I said it sounded like Geralt. So Faith is the other voice talent. Okay. So I wonder if that's was that Delphine? And C4, I don't know. I mean, I honestly, the first I'd heard of it was on Monday. I mean, you know, every Monday I look through Steam. Running and hugging, finger to follow. I normally sit on a Monday and look through the coming soon games on Steam just to see what what games are coming out for the rest of the week, to see if there's any neat little indie games that are worth looking at, because obviously most of the bigger games we know weeks in advance when they're coming out, but a lot of the smaller games you don't see them until the week they're out. And I noticed it on Monday that it was coming out, and I'd never heard of it before. I'd not heard of it, and it looks interesting, so I kind of So, but yeah, it kind of confuses me, C4. But you get some games like this from like smaller companies, and then you don't see much in the way of previews for them or anything until they're out, right? So, slowly.
Dockers was my best friend. I couldn't do that to him, not even now he's dead.
Right. So you like her, but you don't have the nerve.
Oh yeah? What would you do?
Women have never been one of my priorities.
I'm sorry.
He likes men.
Forget it.
He likes men. Old white men.
You screwed Alphonse good, didn't you?
I don't think he holds it against me this far down the line. He's a new man now, right?
Did you enjoy it?
I'm a cop. Correction, I was a cop. You do the job you're given. End of story.
I hear you. But you didn't finish the next job they gave you. Did they find those kids?
No. How do I look?
Like the Invisible Man in the movie. No one's gonna buy it.
Take it easy. Everything's going to work out fine.
Yeah, me too, C4. I mean, I've got a big list of stuff that's upcoming that I'm keeping an eye on, and I check, like as I said, I check through Steam and update this list weekly, and I'd not heard about this until Monday, and it's like episodic. So I'm guessing from looking at the reviews on Steam, most people that have put a review on Steam already had been played from like 2.5 to 3.5 hours. So I'm guessing it's going to be 2.5 to 3.5 hours long, right? And which makes sense because it's episode 1 of 5, and if it's 2 to 3 hours and there's 5 of them, it's like 10 to 15 hours, right? And for a story game, that's not bad.
So, everything's gonna work out fine, huh? You sure it's here?
Relax. It's just a little further. Just follow me.
This plan is suicidal. We're gonna die.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. And may I ask why?
It's not the first time I've done a job like this, and I never was any good at getting killed.
There's a first time for everything, my friend.
Milton, if you go on contradicting me, you're not going to get into your role. Don't forget, while we're here, you're supposed to be at my beck and call.
While we're here.
To the brave sailors of the island of St. Helena. So which way are we supposed to be going, right or left?
Hear that? Not bad.
A white boy who likes the blues. What's next? You gonna let the black man vote?
Are we supposed to go in here? No, we're not supposed to go in there, okay. Yeah, it seems really neat. It seems pretty neat. It definitely seems like my sort of thing. C4. Definitely seems like my sort of thing. I mean, it's quite linear, but it's obviously like story based, and a lot of those linear games are very story based.
Hey, you. Where do you think you're going?
Hello, friend. I've come to speak with Nikolai Ivankov. Can you help me?
I'm sorry, pal. The Mummy Repair Center is over on the other side.
Well, we tried being polite.
Kick him in the balls, honey.
It'd be my pleasure, Sweetie Chops.
Sweetie Chops.
Dakota.
Yeah, my pleasure, Miss Dakota.
Maybe you can kick me in the balls, but not him. I gelded him myself, like an ox. You can't imagine the kind of strength that gives. He could split your chest with a single headbutt.
And anyone else who gets in your way, Mr. Burke.
Ah, you got one of those uppity Negroes, I see.
You have no idea, my friend. Takes the patience of a saint.
Yeah. Look, pal, without an appointment, you can't come in.
I have an appointment in the name of Osmond Burke.
You're Burke. Why didn't you say so before? Come on in.
Ah, cool. Yeah, I finished that did that yesterday. It was very short though. That last episode of C4. It was very short. It was only like an hour and a half, or it was like an hour and a half when I played for it on Twitch. When I redid it on YouTube, it was like an hour and 20 minutes. But it was an hour and 20 minutes, but it seemed a lot longer because there was a lot of, there was a lot going on in it, right? It really did set it up for a finale. Now we got to wait a couple of months, right, for the finale. But I got to ask, so who did you? What did you make of the cliffhanger at the end? Telltale a bunch of dicks.
Whoa, what is that thing?
Oh, is that the Beast?
Really want to know? Better off not asking.
I think that sounds like the Beast, right? That could be the monster that the guy was saying. It definitely sounded like it could be. And how convenient he moved it out of the way just so we could walk past. Dark 42, here we go. And yeah, so next week we got the next episode of Life is Strange next week, which is the next one.
Looking for someone?
We arranged to meet Nikolai Ivankov at berth 42, but it looks like the ship isn't moored here. Has she set sail?
It isn't moored? Maybe she's sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
Ah, it's a sub. Oh, hello. That's a bit big. Can I have that in World of Warships? That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it, in World of Warships? You'd do some real damage with that. What? Okay. Is that it? Is that the end of the first chapter? Yeah, look, Doug Cockle, Eliot Ness. John Graziov, Al Capone. Tom Clark Hill. I gotta look up that name because I recognise Milton's voice. I just don't know where from. Tom Clark Hill. Batman! Is that where that voice is? That where he's from? That would make sense. Batmobile. What? And Alien Isolation. Ah, okay. Okay. We're back to the kid. Ah, I thought that was the end. Obviously, it's not quite the end. Yeah, it's got a little part after
You know
credits.
that we punish children who behave badly, don't you?
What?
Yesterday, it was Juliet who behaved badly. Do you remember?
Uh-huh.
I guess this is the
She
granddaughter.
hit Junior, so she would finish ahead of him in the morning race. Do you know what we did to her?
Mm-mm.
Don't worry. You'll find out soon enough. Which do you prefer? The doll or the plush toy?
So whichever one we prefer, they're probably going to throw in the fire. Hey.
2 days ago, Mickey bit Tom so he could take his food. Do you know what we did with him?
Bruno says you killed him.
Bruno says many things. Which are blonde hair or
Hang on,
brown?
what are we doing? What are we doing? What the hell are we doing here? I don't get it. So we picked a doll, a plush toy. No, a doll, brown hair.
And today, you tried to escape. Do you know what the difference is?
No.
Juliet and Mickey hurt their friends so that we would not punish them. You tried to escape, but you did not harm your friends. On the contrary, you tried to help Bruno, putting your own life in danger. Very few children would do that. We are going to punish you.
Oh!
But in a different way than Juliet and Mickey. Bruno, on the other hand, did something very similar to them. He betrayed you to avoid being punished.
I'm sorry.
Which of these two drawings do you like best?
So, oh, okay. We're kind of making up some sort of ritual for the next murder or something, right?
I'm sorry.
Did he just chop his hand off? So what the fuck happened there? Okay, so yeah, because right at the end there, we chose those. You know, we chose like a symbol, some hair, and a toy. So I'm guessing they're probably going to make some sort of doll or something. Definitely some really occult shit going on here.